Welcome to the Bendire's Thrasher 2017 protocol. It's going to be happening in which states, Chrissy?
Arizona, Nevada, and California this year.
And I'm Jenny McFarland with the Tucson Audubon Society.
And I'm Chrissy Conrad-Smith from Arizona Game and Fish.
Alright, so this protocol is going to be happening in multiple states, so there might be some little tweakings that'll happen from place to place. But right now we're talking about Arizona, but this video will be applicable to all those other states that are also doing the survey. So the first thing you're going to want to do, if you get assigned a survey plot for this Bendire's Thrasher survey, this is for multiple thrashers, isn't it?
Multiple thrashers, but here in Arizona we are going to concentrate on Bendire thrashers.
The first thing you're going to want to do is take your protocol and read through it very carefully. There's a lot of good details in here and it explains everything very well. Everything we say here in this video is also written out in the protocol. So you want to be very careful to make sure you read through this protocol before you ever, leave to go do a survey. So these surveys are going to be working as plots. They're search area plots, and they're 300 meters by 300 meters, little squares that are oriented to the north, along the northern UTMs and along the eastern-western UTMs. So they're oriented pretty much facing due north. So
basically, we're here today to show you kind of what these plots are going to look like and the kind of route you're going to want to take, and discuss some of the things that might help better explain what's in the protocol.
Right, because sometimes it's better to see it than to read about it. All right, so these plots are, why don't you show the map real quick on camera. So
Okay.
This is an example of a plot that is blank, so that you can draw on it. And let's flip it over so we can see the map. So this is a printed map of what the actual plot looks like. The plot that we are actually standing on right here now in Aber Valley, near northwest of Tucson, Arizona.
And we are in the southwest corner.
Right.
And to get started, what we're going to do, as this is going to be an area search, is we're going to walk in from our southwest corner, which will have it lettered for you when you get your maps to do the plots.
And
we're going to walk in
right now.
50 meters. And we've got a Bendire's right behind us. So
Bendire's right here on the plot. Yeah, he's photobombing us. Bendire's.
Should we try to go video, or are we good?
I got some video. We'll see something later.
He's our background music. Anyhow,
No problem.
so yes, we're going to be starting in the southwest corner. We're going to walk in going west 50 meters. From this point, we're going to basically do serpentines throughout this plot that are 50 meters apart. Starting down here on the south point, going north. Then we're going to, when we get to the point of here, we're going to go over west 50 more meters and then go south straight down. So we're doing a huge serpentine throughout this 300 meters until we come to the last point that's 50 meters from the outside northwest point.
Great, okay. So there's a few key things to keep in mind for your plot, just to sort of think about even before you even come out here, is one, that these are plots and they're meant to be searched completely, but there is a time limit. The whole plot should be searched within 40 minutes. Even if the habitat looks really not great, you need to spend 40 minutes on the plot. Now, if something happens, like you're in a tangle of wash and you have to bust your way through and you're not actively searching, you can stop the time. We recommend you carry a timer or do a timer on like your smartphone. So it's 40 minutes of active searching. So if something's preventing you from actively searching, stop the time. Stop the timer. If you see a thrasher or a loggerhead shrike and you want to get all those details about that bird, because that's our main goal out here, is to get detailed information about any thrashers you come across and also any loggerhead shrikes. So if that happens, if you see one of those birds, like we just did behind us, you want to stop the timer because you're not actively searching the plot at this point. Now your focus is on that individual bird. So it needs to be a total of 40 minutes of active searching.
And some of the kind of things that you might come across that you'll have to stop the timer on are washes or obstructions, or even, say,
Noise.
for example, a low-flying plane. You're going to want to stop that timer, stop yourself, and wait for that to pass. Or if it's a wash that you can't, that you're going to need to get around, stop it, get through that obstacle, and then restart your timer.
Yeah. Okay, so, and also it's very important too that the only birds we are going to be officially documenting on your data sheet here So this one here with all these lines on it, the Wisconsin Bendire Thrasher survey form, we're going to be recording all species you find only on the plot. So that's everything. Black-tailed gnatcatchers, verdants, albatross, any birds you come across on the 300 by 300 plot that you're assigned need to be written down here. But only birds on the plot. If you see other birds outside of the plot, you can still document them somewhere else, like down here at the bottom of the sheet or on the blank map. You can document them somewhere, but only the birds that you're seeing within that square should be written down right here. Now, when you find, so you're serpentining, gridding through the plot in your 40 minutes, looking for birds, recording the birds you see in here, right here, that are on the plot. If you do come across one of the target species, a thrasher, a bendires, a lacance, a curvebill.
Granted, our focus is bendires, but we still will record the other birds.
Yeah. If you come across a thrasher, so it says here for lacance, thrasher, bendires, thrasher, and loggerhead shrike. So all those species, if you do find one on the plot, you're going to stop the timer, and then you're going to pull out this other sheet that has a lot more information that we want you to record about that bird. And then it's okay to it's encouraged to spend some time at a safe distance so you're not disrupting the thrasher or the shrike, to spend some time observing them and documenting anything you can in terms of whether or not those birds are breeding on the plot. But you really don't want to spend more than 10 minutes with the bird for a couple reasons. One is you got to finish your plot, but also we don't want to make these birds anxious or disrupt them in any way, because if they're thinking about breeding and then we spend too much time with them, we might discourage them from breeding on that plot. So at a safe distance where they're not getting nervous or anxious, and then just only 10 minutes. And if you see a pair, that's great. If you hear singing, if you find a nest, we need to know if it has eggs in it or anything else that you can safely observe without disrupting the bird too much.
And we'll show you an example of that in just a little bit.
Alright, so Chrissy has already walked her 50 meters, and now she's already walked from one corner of the plot up, and now she's going 50 meters over to the west to start her next pass through the plot. Okay, she's at the edge of the plot, 50 meters in, and she's heading back to the north. Actively looking. Oh, she sees something. Sees a bird. Wrote it down. Kept going. Didn't stop the timer. It just took a second to record that bird. Oh, now she sees something. Alright, stopped the timer. She's got something. Getting a little closer. Getting off that grid, that's totally fine. If you see something that you really want to investigate. Alright, looking. Alright, so I think she might have some Bendire Thrashers. So she's already had stopped the timer, so now she's just going to take some time off the clock and observe these guys, try to get some behavior clues, see how many there are. Okay, just going to record that Thrasher. And now she's going to pull out that sheet, that incidental or the specific sheet you use, target species sighting form. And that's a separate sheet for each occurrence of thrashers or a shrike. So this looks like it might be two Bendire thrashers, but because they're together, I'm just going to put them on one of those sheets as a pair. And then spend some time with them and see if she can get a little more evidence of what they're up to. Are they nesting nearby? Are they breeding? Any courtship behavior? Any foraging? anything of note that you see about these birds, the species of tree they're hanging out in, anything that you can observe about them is going to be put on that sheet. Just write down all that info. Being careful not to be too close to these birds for more than 10 minutes. A shrike is coming in. Loggerhead shrike. Right past Chrissy. So that's a bird that would also get his own sheet, because that's another target species. So it's the LeConte's thrasher, the Bendire's thrasher, and the loggerhead shrike, because how they interact is of extreme interest. So the fact that one flew in from the south near this pair of thrashers and then flew away would be something you'd want to note. And then he also gets his own little sheet about the fact that he came in towards the thrashers and then flew away to the north, calling. So any behavior like that is great to record. Oh, and so she's done her, she spent less than 10 minutes with these guys, got her info, and now she's continuing on her grid through the plot. So you're going to walk from the north to the south, 50 meters apart, snaking through the entire plot, which is 300 meters by 300 meters, in 40 minutes of active searching. Alright, so she's headed up towards the northern boundary of the plot. Alright, so looking at her GPS unit. We're going to be covering that a little later in the film. We do have units for folks that are in Tucson that can be borrowed, and also folks up in Phoenix that can be borrowed from Game & Fish. This can also be done using a smartphone with a GPS app. Alright, so now Chrissy reached the northern edge of the plot, and now she's heading off to the west, 50 meters. Actively searching, especially within the plot. So she's ignoring what's off to her right, since that's off the plot. Oh, and now she's reached her 50 meters to the west, and is headed back south towards the southern edge of the plot. Recording birds as she goes. Oh, stops, sees something. Now you might, because she's only gone 50 meters and she's still pretty close to where that pair of thrashers was, those Bendire's thrashers, she's probably going to see them again. But, common sense tells you that those are the same birds. So she'll probably just zoom right past them, ignore them. Since with confidence she can tell it's the same pair of thrashers she just saw a few minutes ago. So kind of ignore them and just keep going. Because there could be more on this plot. Alright, still headed south towards the southern edge. Alright, so the survey time is that 40 minutes of active searching within.
Needs to be approach out. You kind of look around for predators. You think there's a nest and you want to get the UTM on it. You're not going to touch the nest. I'm not going to go near it. But if I want to verify just a little closer and get as close to the tree, this is how I do it. Then I'm going to, and of course, stop the timer and then walk away from the nest. Like as I go in one way, out a different way. Stop when I'm far enough away, then write down all my data.
Okay.
I use my GPS to mark the UTM. As I'm walking by, boom.
Okay.
So I have it ready. When
Cool.
I suspect that there's a nest, I'm going to stand going, is that a nest? I can't tell. I need to get a little closer. But I'm not going to be sticking at that tree at all.
Okay.
I mean, this is, yeah, I mean, there is a way of doing it where you go and take a picture and all that, but we're not going there for this work because we don't need to have that data. So just knowing if it's a nest or not.
Thanks. Alright, so Chrissy's going to demonstrate her strategy for trying to
Okay, so
find a
here I'm
nest.
walking.
So she suspects there's a nest in that tree. She's got her GPS unit at the ready, or your smartphone if you're using that with the app open. Approaching the tree, cautiously looking around for predators, because you really don't want to tip them off where this could be. Just going to take a quick look. Whenever she observed there, snapped a point on her GPS unit to mark the tree, casually walking away in case any predators are watching. Don't want to leave a smell trail either. And then she got away from the tree and is now writing down what she was able to observe. So she didn't stop to take a photo. She didn't stop to count the eggs or anything. Just was there a nest, whatever detail she could get in those few seconds, and then just kept going. Because above all, we're concerned about not disrupting these birds. Okay, looked back again, get a little more info, the type of tree, etc. And off she goes, further down her plot.
We just need to freaking survey this area. Veg plots along the swamp.